made that change, man, schools just started going down here. Give you a case in point. Close relative of mine graduated with honors and didn't score above 630, I believe, on the SAT. So you got these kids graduating with honors, but they are poorly performing on the exams. Need I remind you? George Bush's No Child Left Behind. What that effectively did was, yeah, we ain't gonna leave no child behind. We just gonna keep yours from moving forward. How do they do that? Dumb everything down so that those that aren't getting it can still pass. Do y'all remember how soon? Do you remember? And I say how soon we forget the cheating scandals in Atlanta, Georgia. Why do you think that is? The kids couldn't pass a damn test. Is it simple? Okay, I'm digressing. Let me get back to Common Core. So that's what happened in 1983. So what is this bill doing for us? A couple of things I read in this thing that I kind of highlighted here. I'm already in 6 minutes. Let me get right to this. The State Board of Education shall establish the curriculum. It ain't saying nothing about local government. What did I tell y'all before? When we were in the debate, they kept talking about, we want to repeal Obamacare and replace it. I don't want you to replace it. I want you out of it. I want this to be a private business thing. I want them to, I want competition. I want the government out of it. I don't want the state to retain control of our educational system. It is the state that has screwed it up. And here they talking about line 11, and the State Board of Education shall establish. Then if you jump on down, line 13, content standards that will lead to college and career readiness for all students. Everybody is not going to college. It's the same old thing. And then if you go further on down, they talk about establishing this advisory committee, and it mentions one person with this background, another person with that one, 2 of this, 3 of that, yada, yada, yada. And by the time you get through with it, it says, and they shall all have complete 4-year education. Not getting paid, but they're being appointed. Ain't saying nothing about the local level, saying where they pulling people from the local level. Damn that. What? We got 3 parent representatives, but they got to have a 4-year education. Look, do you understand what I'm saying? The state is still maintaining control. It's the state that's got us messed up in the first place. Common Core would have even been worse, but this ain't much better. That's what, man, why can't we see this? We don't want the state to have this much control. We want this control, more control for the parents and local government, not state government. It's state that's got us jacked up. Why do they have us jacked up? Always getting money from the government to keep doing the things that they've been willing to do. This is just Common Core Part A2, okay? Because they screwed us up they screwed up the schools before Common Core. Only difference is we just trade one devil for another one. Rather than getting Common Core, if this one is passed, we'll end up keeping the same screwed up system with the state, except they'll have even more control. Like what Common Core, the only difference with Common Core, a private entity is behind the scenes and the government is backing it. Folks, I don't know what to tell y'all, but this is nothing but another smoke screen, another bending over the barrel and taking it. That's all Senate Bill 203 is. It ain't returning jack. It ain't returning jack back to the local level or the parents. And I heard somebody say, well, don't criticize it because they say at least it's a start. Damn, a start. And if I seem like I'm angry, woo, yes, and I'm black, angry black man, I am angry. And you ought to be angry too. T-Mont out, drive time till next time. I'll just be good day.
I love him.
Beautiful. That's beautiful, man. And he's absolutely right. You should be angry. Everybody should be angry. Everybody seems to be so complacent and just, well, it is what it is. What can you do? No, man. What happened to that fire that we used to have as a people, as American citizens in general, and just stand up for our beliefs and our principles and just look at what was going on and be like, no, dude, what? Are you crazy?
Absolutely. Parents used to show up immediately to the school and be like, what are you teaching our kids?
Right.
And hold them accountable. And those days are done.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Because you don't care what
sad.
your kids are taught.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Common Core, unreal. But anyway, T-Mont on YouTube, I've been listening to him for probably 5 to 7 years. Well, I don't know if it's 7 years, but yeah, I've been listening to him quite a long time, probably around 5 years. Totally love the guy, his passion. He always answered me back if I left a message, whatnot. I don't know how many followers he has. I don't care. I just love listening to people that are putting the truth out there. But his name is Derek Grayson, and apparently he's running for office wherever he is at. So I invite you to go to YouTube, look up Derek Grayson or T-Mont, T-M-O-T, Drive Time Rants. And he talks about whatever's happening currently in politics. Great show, just like our friend Bertley, who is now under what name?
John Barleycorn.
John Barleycorn. And people that are awake and aware. And if you are somebody who likes good information on whatever's happening right now, that likes to think about these things, see different angles, I definitely recommend listening to as many sources that are unbiased as possible. These are people just commenting about what's happening in the world right now. So check them out on YouTube, or you can listen to our show, which maybe you're listening to it right now.
And if you're not, and if something that you stumbled across and want to know the different ways that you can find us, follow us, listen to us, the best way, the easiest way is through Spreaker, and that's www.spreaker, SPREAKER.com / the word user, USER, / Let's Talk Freedom. So it's Spreaker.com /user / Let's Talk Freedom. And then again, you can also check out our website. We'd love for you to check out our website. We've got some great documentaries there, as well as a couple of articles by our guest writers, Dr. Bramante and Stephen Cruz, that you can read and peruse. There you can find that website at talkfreedom.webs.com. And again, follow us on Twitter, Talk Free Podcast, and like our Facebook page, facebook.com /Freedom Talk Now. And since we're on this topic of Common Core, I just kind of wanted to play a little bit of something here. And the reason why we're on the whole Common Core subject, just so you know, if you're just jumping into the show now, or maybe if you have a short attention span and we're listening earlier and then we're like, wait a second, why are we on Common Core all of a sudden? Is because it kind of goes into breaking down the state of mind of people today. It goes to a couple different subjects, one being how something was presented to the American people and was shot down and denied by the American people because of what it was, and then something that was kind of repackaged and renamed and reintroduced again, so that it could be pushed through, which is Common Core, and also how it's a tool for dumbing down the average American and used to kind of turn us away from what we were, which was productive, ambitious, innovative American citizens, and it's obviously the goal is to turn us into these mindless automatons that are just given enough education to be able to be good worker bees to produce for the state.
Just smart enough to turn the wheel.
Right, exactly. So this is a documentary.
Operate the machine.
Right, and obviously I'm not going to play this entire documentary. It's actually a 5-part documentary that you can find on YouTube for yourself if you're interested in learning what Common Core is all about, and all the ins and outs therein. It's called Stop the Common Core. You can find it online on YouTube. It's parts 1 through 5. I'm just going to play probably part 1 and 2, if that, just to kind of give you a little bit of insight into what Common Core really is. So here it is, Stop the Common Core documentary.
Education is quickly changing in the United States. It's hard for parents to keep up with what their children are learning in school, and it's even harder to understand the national trends in education and where they're taking our children and our country. I hope that today is the day that we will resolve to take ownership over the education of our children. So let's start by trying to understand what's happening in our public schools. Hello, my name is Jane Robbins, and I'm with the American Principles Project. I have a disturbing story to tell, a story about the Common Core state standards, how they were foisted on the states by the federal government and by well-funded private interests in Washington. We need to realize that the Common Core will strip our states of their constitutional authority over education. Parents will no longer be able to control or even influence what their children are taught. The Common Core scheme will ultimately empower the federal government to control school curricula in violation of 3 federal statutes. Parents need to know how Common Core standards will ultimately narrow the curriculum and prepare our children to be cogs in a national industrial system rather than full citizens in a free republic. Taxpayers need to know how the Common Core leads to national testing that will impose substantial costs on state and local school budgets. Parents need to know how the massive student data tracking system will contribute to the loss of student and family privacy. Citizens need to understand how this new educational direction will gradually guide the next generation away from our free enterprise system and into a managed economy. All this is supposedly the price we have to pay to ensure that our children are better prepared to compete in the global economy. Join me as I explain what is a very real threat to the United States education system.
Jane, I don't know too much about the Common Core. Could you just start by defining what we are talking about exactly?
The Common Core State Standards Initiative is currently a set of national common K-12 content standards in English language arts and math, ideally to be adopted in all 50 states so that education will be standardized throughout the country. The supposed purpose of the Common Core is to impose rigorous standards so that our students will be better prepared for competing in the global economy and to allow comparison of student performance among states. Common Core standards have currently been adopted by 45 states and the District of Columbia.
So what's the problem with nationally standardized content standards? I heard that the states work together to create these standards.
Common Core proponents claim that Common Core was led by the states, but this simply isn't true. The real drivers of the Common Core were the same advocates of a national school curriculum who have been around for years in various guises. They tried and failed to impose a national curriculum in the past. For example, with the national history standards in the 1990s, which were so politically correct and anti-American that they were rejected by the U.S. Senate 99-1. The national curriculum advocates learned 3 things from past failures. First, don't call the curriculum standards national or federal. Second, impose them quickly and quietly before the people and their representatives find out about it. And 3, don't start with a controversial subject such as history. Start instead with math and English.
Can you identify a few of these groups of people and why they seem so motivated to take over the curriculum standards in all 50 states?
Before she gets into that, I just want to talk about that a little bit because that's pretty revealing, and not only the objectives of passing Common Core, but also as we saw with the Gruber, the clips with Gruber. Have you seen those? No?
I don't know.
He was a guy that was advising on Obama during the whole Obamacare debacle, and basically espousing those same views that you have to rename, repackage, and keep certain things away from the general public, otherwise it won't be passed.
Yeah, I've seen that video.
And the same tactic was used with Obama, with Common Core.
Yeah, dude, Obamacare isn't even Obamacare. John Kerry was trying to push that through so long ago. Mm-hmm. That has nothing to do with Obama. Obama doesn't even know politics. Well, sorry to say it.
To those of you who don't know, which I'm sure you do, but Obamacare was actually started under Romney. Romney was the first one who wrote the original, what is now Obamacare for his state. Absolutely.
I had no idea that was the specific outline.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, with a few tweaks here and there, but essentially Obamacare is Romney Care. It's the same thing. So that's a perfect example and illustration of the fact that there's no difference between the two parties. It's regardless of Republican, Democrat, you're going to get the same thing regardless. It works not only for them, but also works for the insurance industry, and I can say that with complete confidence as an insurance broker. It's what I do for a living, and I can tell you that Obamacare is hugely beneficial to the insurance sales market.
Yeah, just raise the prices of everything.
Absolutely, it forces people to buy something that they don't normally a lot of people wouldn't necessarily